questions. Series of theories, asking all the big questions.
Hey up lads, I've had an idea about the podcast.
Series of theories, asking all the big questions. Series of theories, asking all the big questions. Series of theories.
Hello and welcome to Series of Theories podcast, the podcast where we ask the big questions. Today we've got an expert in who is a performer, a fantastic performer. I'll have you add. It's Gemma Daniels. We're really happy to have you here.
Danielle.
I've got a mate called Gemma Daniels, everyone, but it's Gemma Danielle, and she's been on my podcast before, and now she's on the Series of Theories podcast. I'm really sorry I ballsed your name up. We are mates. But we have an amazing question, and that question be from Josh over there. What's our question, brother?
Has COVID permanently impacted the entertainment industry?
What do you think, Gemma Daniels?
Well, Gemma Daniels would say. Has it? Yes. I mean, of course, it's created such change, the way we create music, consume music. And I mean, to be fair, I don't we're speculating. I don't really know like what it's going to be like when I used to gig all the time, and now, how are we going to actually gig, and how are we going to make money? And
did you gig all the time?
Yeah.
Were you? So on the Not scene or all over?
All over. I would do like wedding gigs and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Because you two haven't actually gigged yet together, have you, as Project Zeus?
No.
We have a lot in the past.
Gigs all over in different names.
Project, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. But you would, where would you primarily be performing?
With my own stuff? I haven't really gigged that much, my own stuff. So okay. I'm really open to whatever is going to happen, and like how... I don't have any expectation, which I think is a good way, like coming into the industry, because I think there's going to be change.
Yeah.
How do you feel as a performer then prior? Did you just thrive for performance?
Yeah.
Always wanting to be on a stage?
Yeah, I love it. Like, I love seeing people happy and dancing and singing along and feeling good. Like, I don't always need the attention on me. Like, I'm used to kind of having the atmosphere. So actually, I don't know what it's like to, when you have a gig and everyone has to look at you and like listen to you. I'm like, why are you looking at me? But maybe I'm so used to doing bars and stuff.
Are you quite often like in the background then?
Yeah,
generally?
I love it though, because then I feel like I can be sassy, but then if everyone's looking at me, then I'm like, oh my god, am I doing it wrong?
You can pull some faces and no one cares.
Yeah.
Have you had the two ends of the spectrum gigs? The one where you think, oh my god, this is exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life, and the, oh my god, I never want to get on this stage again? Only
when it's like a really big event. So I've done some really big scary things.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's like for you guys, but I get so nervous beforehand, feel sick. Literally days beforehand, I don't want to do it. It's all I can think about. I'm like stressing. And then you do it and it's just cathartic because you've overcome a fear. Yeah. So I go through that. But then other times, like when you're gigging like 4 nights a week.
Do you try and remember that feeling every time? And is the juice worth the squeeze? When you're feeling terrified and tired and fatigued from it, then you do the performance and you're elated and feeling great. Do you try and always go, remember that feeling? And then it tries to not put so much pressure on.
Yeah.
But then you always go back to that sickling
It's like
feeling.
adrenaline, isn't it? So it's wanting to do things that scare you, to get that thrill, to know you've overcome it.
But it is worth a squeeze, because for me, I think I've done my performance days. Like if we went into my psyche, Mikey psyche, and I psychoanalyzed the part of my life. I just wanted to be seen at one point because I didn't feel loved or validated as a kid, in truth. So then I got on a stage and people started cheering and clapping. I thought, this is incredible. And I did about 3-4 years of performing every weekend, weekdays. I'd be in London to Bristol to Brighton to Norwich, all over all the time, and it was incredible. But then I just started falling off a little bit, and I tailed into schools and I was performing again, doing assemblies to hundreds. I'd get the nerves and the feelings, but it would be worth the squeeze. So I'd be performing and going, oh, that felt good. I spoke to that kid at that moment and it felt right. But then it started tailoring to it felt a bit static and stagnant on stage, and the nerves just got the better of me. And I don't know if it's because I let that happen or if just that buzz and feeling sort of diminished.
What were you worried about? What would you be nervous about in general?
I think it was just saying the wrong thing. We have a fear, don't we, of being wrong or perceived in the wrong way. And even though I'd never felt that on a stage that I'd done something wrong, so to speak, and I could, if I've missed a word or said something in the wrong way, I can usually style it out. But it was just this big, constant fear of being perceived wrong and doing it wrong and not putting on a good performance.
Yeah, I get that. Like, I think personally, I used to have that kind of feeling, and then it happened a few times. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. All apart from you just have to laugh it off. I think a big part of it is you just got to go. There's going to be shit gigs. There's going to be bits where you fuck up. We're all human, and you just got to go.
I suppose one element for me was you guys are showing music and just getting people in an entertaining vibe and funk, and where I was doing was poetry,
messages and things
so
like that,
it's messages, it's giving out my story, and after you've done your story, which can't really change because it's your story, for the 100th time, you think, I feel like I've healed, I've been cathartic, I've said what I needed to say, and how many times can I keep rehashing it and keep saying it to the same crowd? That their experience of it would often come to me and go, oh, that was so inspiring, really appreciate you coming here, the kids have loved it. But then maybe they started to feel the energy I wasn't giving after a bit, and I wasn't getting the sort of same response to what I'd be used to, and that put me off a bit as well.
You have a lot of power in those moments as well, I think, as well, especially if you, like you say, if you go into schools with young people and you say the wrong thing and you reflect on it later that you think you might have said the wrong thing, you could say something that hatches an idea in some kid's head, and it is a lot of responsibility. I get that. I think different to me singing songs about pills or something like that. It's a bit of a different kind of kettle of fish.
Was it just yourself performing? So you didn't even have a DJ or any other musicians or anything?
No, it's always just been me. Not even a backing track.
Yeah.
So spoken word in pubs was that's the reason I got this bus, in honesty. I love the NPR sessions and so on, where it's really intimate and all about the artist. And when I'd be going to obviously schools and certain places, you would be the emphasis and that'd be everything on you. But when you're in pubs, you can be fighting against somebody and it's just words on words.
You've got to be very quick as well.
That to me is my worst nightmare. Because that's like improvisation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can't put my foot with that.
I love it because you've got the microphone. They ain't got a microphone, so you can say whatever the fuck you want, and no one's gonna be able to hear them. So I just love that bit where someone's giving you shit. I find it as part of the kind of this isn't an invitation for people to come and to our shows and give me shit. By the way, get kicked out.
Bit of camaraderie.
But I just find it's similar to, I used to play team sports, football, that kind of thing. So I find it similar to just a bit of banter.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You two, then, when you perform, are you like the performer, like the kind of lead person, and then you're creating the music in the back, or do you do it together and bounce off?
I usually don't get a mic.
Yeah, Josh does all the difficult bits. I stand there and shout at people and sing songs. Talk to the crowd.
If there happens to be a mic in my vicinity, I might like talk into it every now and then, but I don't, because I don't do backing vocals. I don't ask for one.
Yeah.
So I don't really need it.
And what about you two then, in terms of, you've been in a lot of bands, you've done a lot of performances and gigged together. Do you have any worries or anxieties or excitement, in fact, about what's that one?
I'm excited.
Is that the main?
Yeah.
I think it's weird. It's weird. I always think, I'm not going to be nervous. It's fine. I won't be nervous. And then about 10 minutes before the gig, that's when it all hits me. And I think, shit, what if it does go wrong?
Yeah.
But it happens as well. But it happens with releases as well. I think, I'm really, really happy with this tune. And then like the day before, hang on, what if it's really shit?
Yeah.
What if I just don't?
Yeah, like, and that, it doesn't normally happen to me until it's until the gig's about to happen.
Is that like imposter syndrome in essence? Just think, I can't have created something good. It's me.
I think that is a big part of it.
Maybe. I've not thought of it that way, but maybe it is.
A lot of, whenever I've had like anxieties for playing gigs and stuff, it's because we're playing with artists and I'm like, these are loads better, like I just don't feel like we fit or whatever, and then you get on and it's fine. And it's I think a lot of it is just getting your head into the space. Because before gigs, I don't eat before it. Like, you will always eat before gigs, won't you? You'll
I
go
eat
and
too much.
Shit before gigs. I won't eat. Like, I'll go on stage and I won't have eaten, or it'll be like 8, 9 o'clock at night, I won't have eaten anything all day. But I find that makes me perform better, because it's not, I can't figure out if I'm nervous or if I'm just excited or a
Are
bit
you starving?
of both. Yeah, maybe I'm just hungry. But I always
That
find
feeling is hunger.
but it makes me feel funny, so it's quite cool. And then I come off stage and I'm like, right, I need something to eat. But I always find that the adrenaline for me just makes me not want to eat anything before gigs and that kind of thing, and then get on stage. But I always find the show goes okay. I don't tend to forget lyrics or anything like that at all. But I think because I'm in this heightened state of, I just need to get this done, I'm just focused on the performance and nothing else, like nothing else in my head.
Have you learnt to channel your anxiety into a really good performance, or have you ever let it beat you?
Yeah, I have let it beat me, usually in audition scenarios.
Oh, wicked. So you do auditions?
When I do auditions.
Wicked.
I try to avoid them now, but you've got to do things to progress your career, haven't you? But otherwise, no, because I sometimes, well, I got to a point, it's practice, isn't it? The more you get up and do things. But I feel like I can let myself go now. I was listening to you guys and just thinking about, what is that nervousness? What is that fear? Why do we get nervous? And I think it's because we want to fit in, and we are so scared of like being cast aside.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, because we've all gone through this COVID thing, whether there would be less nerves because we're more like part of this collective now. Like, whether we'd be more supportive of each other, or...
I think it's how you want to see it. One of my boss that I work for really helped me in a moment, because he could tell I was nervous, and it's, you know, you can give yourself affirmations of how make you feel better. And one thing he told me on nerves was, nerves are the respect that you pay the audience. So you
care about them.
You want them to have a good experience, and you don't want it to fall flat for them. So you're just really sort of caring that they're going to have a good time.
That is a great way of looking at it.
I think you can flip things on its head and make it a better experience for you. And I channeled that for a long time. It was like, yeah, it's not about me, it's not my ego. I want them to enjoy this and take something away from it. And if they're going to have the best experience, I've got to be on form. So you've got to get on there and really give it something. So that helped me in a time, definitely.
Yeah.
Whereas,
I find like if you've got someone in particular, like someone from a label or a manager or something, coming to watch you specifically, I find that adds a lot of pressure. And that's when I would probably be nervous for a gig. But that's because of, it's for prolonging your career kind of thing. It's like, well, that can get me to the next step.
It's a make or break moment.
It's a big moment. And at the end of the day, there's that many. It's one of those things that, again, you worry less about. If you worry less about it, you will do a better show probably. If you worry in shitloads, then you're probably going to limit yourself a bit. And it's just a battle with getting out of your head, I think. Because
if you're thinking about that just being, it's going to be like a career building or a life changing moment. It's only in your head that you are thinking that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, because at that point you wouldn't normally think it's more daunting performing to 4 people than to 400 people. But we haven't done any auditions, but we've done a similar sort of thing where we've had like new label bosses or new managers come to watch us before, like, practice. And we've just been them, and they've literally just been sat there in the room watching us, and we've not no one else. And it's like, it does feel a bit more daunting than actually getting on stage in front of 300 people.
Yeah,
it's weird, but it's only because
it's your own pressure.
Yeah, it is that.
Yeah.
Do you think we're still going to have... Do you know when those days when you'd have managers or record labels go to these gigs? Do you think that's still going to happen post-COVID? Or do you think that people are just going to find people online?
I think a bit of both. I think, because like we were saying, like TikTok is a big way of people getting found at the moment and that kind of thing. So, but... a lot of the stuff that gets chucked on TikTok is just finished, and they've made it and they've recorded it and tuned it and done all the effects,
and then pretend
kind of
it's
thing.
like, oh, I just did this in my room.
So live, it's probably not going to translate. But then the other argument we've got here is how important, like we're saying after COVID, how important is that going to be? Whether you can perform live, because everything's not going to be as such live, maybe as much. There's going to be a lot more impetus on stuff that's pre-recorded and stuff that's polished, and you can polish everything if you put enough effort into it and re-record it and that kind of thing. So there might be a lot more smoke screen going forward. There'll be a lot more kind of this kind of I'm great background, you're not, like, but probably is going to be more people getting through. There's already a lot of people saturated in the music industry. It's probably going to be a lot more people with so to speak, less talent, but I don't think it's less talent. I just think it's talent in a different thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because
And just
performing is
complexion.
completely different to the sort of creating and even just recording. It is different. Like, I had to go from performing to learning how to record, and that was a different skill altogether.
But with what you were saying about that, could that not come full circle at some point and people are going to get sick? People might end up getting sick of it, thinking, oh, everyone's just using these production techniques. We could actually go and watch a live musician at an open mic who is literally just stood there with a guitar and no trickery or anything. Will people eventually think, hang on a minute, that's where it's at?
Do you think people are going to be rushing back to get into seeing live shows and so on?
I think they will, yeah.
Some people.
Yeah.
I am.
Because I mean,
I'm gagging.
it's burning in me. I'm so ready to sort of be around people, but I can see also other ends of the spectrum where there's a lot of hesitance still and fears towards getting in and around people. If they've had that comfortability at home where they've watched a Zoom gig or just enjoyed it back there with the family, do you have any concerns that there aren't going to be as many people in your gigs and shows?
It all depends on how much they're going to attach to it, because I think there personally is going to be a lot of gigs that are played but also live streamed, so you've got best of both worlds.
Yeah,
you can go, or you can watch it online. If you can buy a ticket, if it's a ticketed thing that you have to pay for online, it may be better because more people might go, so to speak. Because at the moment, a big barrier for a lot of people, I know it's not just during COVID but pre-COVID as well, I can't be asked to go out, can't be asked to go to this gig, I'm bored, I just want to sit at home and watch telly or whatever. A lot of people do that, but if the option is where you can go out to the gig or you can watch the artist online,
Might be quite nice for a performer as well,
yeah.
because if you're thinking about it, when you are at a show, and we've all been to a show, haven't we, where 7 people have turned up or 15, whatever, and it looks smattered, but if you're thinking, oh, it is being recorded though, so let's give our best possible performance, because there could be 100 people still watching this and experiencing it, it's getting our name out there. It might take a little bit of that pressure off you as an artist, because you've got in your head that you are still being seen and it's being recorded for a later date, rather than when you're at a live gig you're like, this is for now, that's it, 7 people, let's not bother, sort of thing. Have you ever had that?
Oh yeah, when we've turned up and there's only been 5 people in the room, just think, right, band practice.
Yeah. It's the only way of getting through it.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, just sorry, going back a little bit, but towards anxieties, have you ever, as artist, performed without anxiety or without that fear, and how did that performance go for you, like if you hadn't had it there?
Good question.
I think lots of times personally that
You've not had anything?
I've not had any kind of... It's when you don't put the pressure on yourself. I think like the main ones where I don't have as much anxiety about gigs is where it's a venue I know, it's a sound person I know, it's a crowd that's friendly, and you can kind of gauge it. I think the last one that I didn't really feel nervous, the one where your equipment was all fucking up at the bodega. That one. I was like, it is what it is. Like me and Lauren were just singing Teenage Dirtbag on the stage, like with the bloody music going on. We were just keeping the crowd up. It was a massive crowd, and we were like, we'll just keep the crowd happy. We'll just do this and that. You're in the corner stressing the fuck out.
I was trying not to smash my laptop up.
Just letting him be Manuel from Fawlty Towers in the background. Oh no!
In that moment, I felt so helpless. But all you can do, what can you do? Stress yourself out or laugh
But
about
Did you
it.
not have
Dirtbag.
adrenaline then that kicked?
Yeah,
Like,
adrenaline,
this is
yeah.
fight or flight.
Yeah, and it
I've
was
got to
fun.
entertain.
Yeah.
What
And I
about
think that was
yourself on that term?
Yeah, I think I used to think that the only way I could do a good performance was be nervous, then perform.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have that feeling, I was like, this is gonna be shit, because I had in my head that I had to do things a certain way. But now, like, no, I can let go, I think, a little bit more. It's nice when you have like that kind of friendship vibe, because then you get confident and you go, no matter what's thrown at me, I don't care if I look stupid. That's a really nice place to be. Like, I don't care if I'm dancing crazy, because when you let go, the audience let go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the way to
How
get
about
to
you?
that position, I think a lot of the times where I've gone overconfident is when I've done my worst performance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
where I've not felt any sort of adrenaline or so on, I've come out not well from it, in honesty, towards my feeling. A lot of the time, I'm very late into music because I only got into it in my late 20s, like 20.
How old are you?
I'm 28, so.
You're 28 now?
Yeah, well, 27. I'm 28.
Are you all in your 20s?
Yeah.
I'm 27, 28 May the 8th, if anybody wants to get me a little Prezi now.
I'm 29 next week, yeah.
Oh, bless. Should we do our birthday talks? But when I've been performing and not got nerves, that definitely is the time where I thought, I wished I had a little bit more adrenaline towards this. I completely reflect into a few, and I think I just let my ego come out thinking, I know poetry, I know all my words really well, I can do this, and it sort of went flat.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah, a little bit flat like.
I think there is, like, you say with the adrenaline, I've always got the adrenaline going. Like, it's just whether it's an anxiety fueled adrenaline or an excitement fueled adrenaline for me. And if it's an excitement fueled one, I just think just perform with a smile on your face, dance around, have a laugh, and a bit of fun with the crowd, and you can't really go wrong.
I'm reflecting on it. I think it's my fault as well because I just plateaued. I allowed that to happen. When I do my best, is because I'm going to try a new piece that I've never done. What's that?
oh, you just said my bestest.
My bestest.
Is that what you said?
Another
That's so
great
cute.
word. My best.
Another one in the
I'm gonna
dictionary.
try my bestest.
I perform my best when.
Just because best wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Your
you
best
didn't.
My bestest. It was when I brought in new material or trying something out and I'm being a bit reckless with it, because if I just know everything off by heart, you can not feel it anymore. You can just recycle and regurgitate your information, and it's just there for people. But if you're putting yourself in a little bit of a harder situation, that's where you go, no, come out now, you're trying and pushing. So yeah, or I've been under equipped as well. I've not practiced, and then I think I get in my head just before, like, oh, you idiot.
Yeah,
That's been the only time. I'd say that's been the only time with me where I felt.
Did I say
unprepared.
bestest?
I don't know.
I thought you did.
Yeah, I didn't hear.
It's super cute.
But
Cute's a big one for me. I always get called cute.
I always say
27-year-old bloke with a beard, and I'm still getting called cute.
I say cute to everything. I know guys don't like being called cute. So
I know, I'm definitely, I'll take cute.
Cute to me isn't like trying to belittle someone. It's
Oh,
just
no.
like, oh my god, it makes me feel happy.
That was a cute moment.
Yeah.
Tiff uses that a lot, doesn't she, actually? Shout out, Tiff. Yeah,
What's that?
She says cute a lot as well.
Does she?
Yeah. It's just female
What, are you
vocalist we
two
collab with.
cute? Have you been called cute before in this? Look at Josh.
probably.
He's like, I'm
Yeah.
definitely cute. So back to topic.
Back in my room.
Does this mean we're all incredibly excited for what's happening? And I mean, we're not far away at all. What
I am
date are we
shooting
on?
it. Not gonna
I'm
lie.
kind of excited.
I
but
can't
at the
wait to do Garage Live.
But at the same time, I'm thinking, like, is it just going to get taken away from us again?
Yeah.
And also, a point I wanted to ask everyone: how would you actually feel about doing a socially distanced gig? Like, you know, when people are there, but they have to be 2 meters apart. So.
Oh, between each other.
Yeah, so I mean, the only real way of doing it would be table service, wouldn't it? So, say if you were on stage in like a venue like Bodega or somewhere like that, you're on stage and then you've just got tables. You've maybe got, like, say 7 tables dotted around and like 5 people at each table. Would you feel all right with doing that? I wouldn't like. I don't think I'd like it personally.
I don't think it would work with your music though, would it?
Atmosphere, no,
Like if
yeah.
I was doing like a classic sort of jazzy gig, then it could work in that instance. But
Yeah.
if yours is about high energy and people are sitting down, like your energy just gets drawn.
Yeah. I think I'd struggle more with that.
Well, the reason what made me think of that is because a DJ posted a clip of them playing our tune in Canada, where they're able to do social distance events.
Okay.
But obviously he's playing like massive dance bangers, and
Yeah.
he's got all these people sat down, and he was messaging me like, "Oh, it just doesn't hit. It just doesn't feel the same
Really?
because everyone's
Really?
no one's allowed to get up and dance or anything. So I'm banging out all these tunes and like." No one can really vibe to them.
You wanna go
Everyone's
pick
just got to
them
be
up?
there and sat down. Yeah, but you're not allowed to do that.
But do you think that will? I mean, what are we expecting? Because I'm sorry, but I haven't watched the news, so
all on the
or
same
read
boat,
anything.
definitely.
So, what are we expecting come June when things are open? Or July?
Yeah, probably sort of healthy skepticism, people coming
Yeah.
together and working it all out. But I think, like what we said earlier, you can find something that helps you channel the best of your ability. And what you could do is go, oh, this is an incredible opportunity to learn something new and something that works. So if artists can talk yourselves out of a gig, can't you? Like, oh no, we're this music, so they're not going to react well
Yeah.
to this.
Yeah.
Or you can go, oh, this is our great opportunity to find something new that works that we've not tried before. So I think that's how I'd see it, is, oh, what can I introduce that they're all sitting in this certain way, it's going to be quite regimented, what's going to make this pleasant for everybody's experience? Do you know what I mean? But you are limited, you've got a stage and then certain formation. So yeah, it'll be interesting for you first. We're going to get you on this bus, aren't we?
Yeah.
19th.
Oh,
Yeah,
sick.
I'm absolutely buzzing for that. But that's something I'm really proud of, the busking sessions, because it is. I give a little talk before and just say, right, when the music's on, it's just music. That's all we want.
Yeah.
And then the outside bit and the smoking area is where we can really have a laugh and talk about what we've seen. But I wanted it to be sort of that connoisseuring. I don't want to
Yeah.
sound too avant-garde
Sofas
here.
are
I was
but-
about to say a sofa session.
yeah,
type
sofa
vibe.
session
Yeah.
where you go, right, we're having an experience, then we're going to go and talk and express ourselves about that.
See, that's a way that could work with social distance events, because everyone's sat down at sofa events anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're just usually on the floor.
I think it is. It's going to change different realms of entertainments, and there might be the owners of these establishments might sort of have conversations is, oh, should we introduce a more sofa session thing? People can come and have that experience, because I think that's what people are wanting the most and thriving for the most, is an experience. We've just missed experiences. So if it can be a bit messy, can't it? If we just have, oh, get a band on, sit everyone down, let's see what happens, it might not work so flowing and well. But if you go, no, we're going to turn this into a special thing, we get 3 hand-picked acts on, we really emphasise that's a bit of music for an hour, and have your moments to go and chat about it, it might make it into a really beautiful experience.
Do you reckon it's going to breed more stripped back acoustic sets, maybe? Because if you're going to want events where people are sat down, it's not going to lend itself to the more like energetic, say, live, bandy kind of stuff. Maybe it's going to be a bit more stripped back and chilled out stuff.
For a bit,
You're gonna
potentially.
push yourself through.
Yeah.
But when Boris goes back to normal, everyone, we are going to be going, right, it's rave time, everybody. The season is near. I think there's enough people to be calling for that, isn't there?
People are already doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, people will be gagging for it.
So where do we wrap this then? Are we saying it's going to change things around, but we're ready for the changes and we're just going to see what happens, in essence?
I suppose.
Is that we try
Kind of a vague
we
way
try
of
and
ending it.
conclude it, but
Right.
we always fall short at this bit. The last one we did was who's the worst fictional dad, which all turned out to be in God. was
Sam. my thought.
He just went, yeah, I think God's the worst fictional dad, and it ended. We lost so many
Yeah.
viewers.
By the Christian community.
Yeah.
Did you actually lose viewers?
No.
What's that?
Well, maybe.
Oh, right.
No, we didn't. Yeah, no, we
Not
didn't.
that many anyway.
All our religious crowd, they went.
We didn't have a very core.
We've only got
fundamentalist
stoners left.
Christian crowd.
We'll just have to find a way to offend them next.
We
and
do
then
these
we're
on
done.
Sundays. You see, it's like like being at church. You know?
So I say the expert that we brought in, the
Can't believe you
performer,
even call her in.
the expert.
It's so cringe.
What do you feel?
As the expert,
about this
I feel
whole
like I have
conversation?
no idea. Wait, what?
Did this help you feel differently about performance, though? Has it
To be
made?
fair, it's made me think about it. Because I have been trying not to think about it
Okay.
purposely, because I gave in to the fact that all the resistance and the sadness that we weren't able to perform anymore, I gave in, let go, and now I'm in this content happy space of not desperate for it anymore. So when it comes, I think I am just ready for whatever's going to come.
I was going to say, because do you know, if you don't think about it and just repress it, and then it comes like the day before you've got a gig, is that when you sort of hit panic modes? Because you're like, I've not had time to think about this. What am I going to do?
Or maybe not thinking about it's a good thing for me anyway, because I'm an overthinker.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just gonna. I think I'll be emotional, and I think that's great for a live performance, because if you come with your heart, then other people connect with it.
Yeah.
Now that
is
what a way to. Now we're concluding, baby.
Drop mic.
So Gemma,
Yeah.
Daniels, have you enjoyed your experience of Series of Theories podcast?
I have. I'm so happy that you got me on. Thank you for having me.
Have you enjoyed this a lot?
I have.
Have you
enjoyed-
really?
Yeah. I just
sound
hope that as
I am.
an expert, I've brought something. Like, I don't even know if I've answered any questions properly, but I'm just going to go for...
The intention behind it was always a ramble, wasn't it, lads?
So there's no right or wrong answers. are there? There's never a
We
right
leave
or
things
wrong.
open-ended. Have your opinion in the comments.
Guys, if you want to be on Series of Theories podcast, come and be an expert, send us a question in and we will help you answer it as well as we did today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big love, peace out, see you next time.
Cheers.
Boom.
Bye.
I actually say your name properly. Gemma Danielle, where can they see all your stuff?
At Gemma Danielle Official.
There you go. Bye.